Well, that was not very prepared. And of course, for our newly employed friend, who can turn the world on with a smile? Who can take a nothing day and suddenly make it all seem worthwhile? Well, it's you, cadet, and you should know it. With each glance and every little movement, you show it. Does anybody even know what song that is? What theme song, I should say? Nah, I don't know. But like a dumbass, I forgot to send the damn link. How the hell can Kadant get in here if she doesn't have the link? Well, now she does. And all has become right with the world. Good morning, John Doe. Good morning, Buzz. And today I got a little bit bored. So I made up a new scroll. It's a new slideshow. So welcome to it. I hope you enjoy it. Good morning, Michael. And let's see. I know it takes forever to come up, but at least I can gauge it now. About how long it takes when I pop it and when it rolls. Oh yeah, this is going to be... I swear I wasn't drunk when I put this together. And you cannot prove otherwise. And good morning, Godbotherer. And good morning, Kadant.
What's up, Doc?
You having fun yet?
I'm cold.
Aw.
I mean, it's raining, so that makes sense.
Well, we have ice rain going on right now.
Oh, that sounds unpleasant.
Well, you know where I live, everything is pretty much unpleasant. But as long as it doesn't break into your house, then, it's okay. So, okay, I'm excited. Tell me about it. How was that work?
It was easy, tedious, but easy.
By the way, do you have the watch page up?
I do not.
Oh, okay. I have a new slideshow going.
I will go and
I got.
Are you telling me we're live right now?
We are live.
Oh, okay.
And I guess I get to be the chipper one for right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Well, you're cold. You got to warm up.
No, I'm cold and I'm very pilled up.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, Godbother, I do not live in Michigan.
Hello, Godbother.
Because I think I'd be part of the militia at this point. And a very good morning, Geo. Very good morning to you too, Lady Longby.
Hi, Geo. Hello, Lady Longby.
Yeah, there's about 100 gifts in this new slideshow. And I think weird or bizarre would probably be the best description of it right now. And good morning, Everyday Man.
Hello, Everyday Man.
I don't know. I have to turn my phone on to find out what the temperature is. Sorry, I'm away from the mic.
It's okay.
There we go.
Um,
I'm turning
I
my
don't know.
phone on.
Oh, okay. I
Hmm.
just don't think I could be very entertaining for the chat at the moment. I'm just kind of like,
Kind of
yeah,
unwinding.
I suppose. That's a descriptor.
Oh. I tell you, there are some weird gifts out there.
Oh yeah, I have some downloaded on my phone that I send to myself via Facebook Messenger, and or I'll send it to myself like through Twitter.
How the hell did I miss 2 calls?
Was your phone on silent?
No, I had the ringer on. Currently right now it's 31 degrees with ice. Ice, ice, baby. How did I miss 2 calls? All right. Well, I guess I can't really. Yeah, I guess I can't really listen to them here. Oh, well, they didn't leave me any voicemail. Fuck them. These goddamn kids. Oh, so would you say a positive day today?
It was a day. Um,
Kind of just getting used to it.
yeah, I suppose. Um, it was easy work. The travel was the most difficult. I got lost twice, but that's to be expected.
Well, I always followed the rule where I had to go someplace twice before it became familiar to me. I had to drive there twice. But unfortunately, uh, that is no longer in play anymore. I will forget shit. And it doesn't make me happy. Mm. I guess I could throw out a no context tweet.
Mm.
Some something I picked up today for, if you believe it or not, a whole penny. I spent a penny on this.
Splurging, I see.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm a budgetary kind of guy. Yeah, I hope for that whole penny I spent, it comes with a stand. Let's see here. What are you doing? Phone, fuck off.
Oh, that's very lovely, Doc.
Yeah, it's kind of purty. It's 50 millimeters.
I mean, for only a penny, it seems like a good deal to me.
Yeah, but it did say it came with a stand, so, that was the true selling point. I'm like, stand? Hell yeah. I'm all about it. I've been watching a lot of Rageaholics Metal Mythos series, and I don't know if there's some meth involved with him. Nubus, good morning. Sisyphus, good morning. And
Hey,
yes, I
Nibbles. Hey,
did see the
Sisyphus.
meme, but I'll be honest with you, since I'm not, I have to say this, since I'm not really in the realm, I don't know who the hell the little kid is. So I'm slightly confused. I guess it's probably somebody that I should know, but I'm a little bit outy of it. Good morning, Turish.
Hello, Tarish.
You seem rather morose,
What do you mean?
like kind of down.
I apologize.
Well, Kevin Logan is kind of a name that I kind of wipe out. Good morning, Chop Top.
Hello, Chop Top.
Yeah, you know, I was nice to him when we did the interview, but that's as far as cordiality goes. Although I will say, last night I had a blast. Um, Ginger Lynn brought the fire,
Oh, yes, she was very entertaining.
and it was so funny because I'm like, I just want to make sure that we're not going to talk about anything that you don't want to talk about. And the first thing she said was, only thing I can think of is Ron Jeremy. I don't want to talk about Ron Jeremy. And then she goes into like this 5 minute tirade on him. God, it was hilarious. Mm. But if you guys, I don't normally plug the show except to say that the show exists. But um, if you guys missed the Ginger Lynn interview, I would recommend to go back and watch it. She's incredibly candid, and yeah, she's pretty awesome. That was a great interview. Good morning, Malachite.
Hello, Malachi.
That was a lot of fun. Now, I think the next one coming up, Random Encounters, is the first time I'm actually going to have a group on.
Are you excited?
Uh, if there's a reason why these guys have over 2 million subs, they are incredibly entertaining, and this was one that Jack T. Ripper turned me on to. I had no idea that they existed, but I went through their catalog, and yeah, I'm not a gamer, but I understand the basics of most of the games that they did. Because what they do is they'll take a game and turn it into like a 5 minute musical, and they're pretty good. I particularly like the Friday the 13th one. That one was pretty funny. But yeah, I have no idea how many of the crew are going to show up. I know AJ's going to be there, who's the leader. Um, okay, well, Godbother is saying that he wants to bake cupcakes for you, Cadet.
I thought Godfather wanted me to make the cupcakes.
Oh, he. This is like a this night only offer. I'm thinking.
Oh, well, what would you put in the cupcakes, Godfather?
And Geo, she was hot in the '80s, and I had to do research, right? So I researched about her return because she came in and did some MILF adult films, and oh my, the way she talks, um, it didn't make me blush. It made me flush. Um, Good morning, Joshua.
Hello, Joshua.
I love that cat one. The what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, I don't know. I put in on Google search gifs, and then I went through like a couple of thousand gifs. And some of this shit is just weird as hell. I have no idea where half of this comes from, but it made me laugh. So, if you guys ever want a gauge of what my sense of humor is, this is a pretty good roll. I love the one of Batman and Robin getting chased by uh, the kid from the Never-Ending Story.
Which which kid?
I forget what his name is, but is riding on the big flying dog.
Is it the Native American looking one or the white one?
The one from the first movie. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen the Never-Ending Story. I'll be honest with you, I didn't like it that much.
It's okay. I own the movie and I was planning on picking up the book because one of my friends had read it and they highly recommend it. So I was gonna pick it up at some point.
Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing, is it?
Oh no, no, no! I'm planning on. That's probably gonna be one of my buys when I get my first paycheck, along with a load of other books. Just because books, books are good.
Let me take a look here. Yeah, I guess I better do this. Did it get all the way through the gifts? My God. That's amazing if it did. Because there's like 100 fucking gifts in this thing. Okay, that works. The Spock one makes me crack up. I can't help it. There we go.
As soon as I can get the watch page up, I will I will stare at the gifts just to see which ones you're talking about, cause I can't see any of them, so I'm not able to enjoy them.
Good morning, Mr. LM002. And he asks, "Are you okay?"
Me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm just like I said, I'm pilled up.
Yeah.
Actually, I should probably take another. I'm
You know,
I'm wide awake.
you are the magical engine that drives this machine.
I apologize. I'm not being too entertaining right now, am I? Like, although this might be the secret to good on to ASMR
Hmm.
is, let's see. No, I shouldn't. I promised I wouldn't. Well, if I don't exceed 12, then I won't be breaking my promise.
Wait a minute. What are you munching on like Pez?
Not just my Depakote.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not, don't worry, I'm not mixing it with booze and Xanax.
Yeah, wifey took Depakote for a while. It worked for a little bit. She's allergic
My
to like
therapist
80.
didn't like me on my Depakote.
Well, she's allergic to like 80% of the meds. And speaking of which, I will take some of this just to show solidarity. Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that.
Mr. LM is asking if you injured something. Is that why you're on pills?
Um, Mr. Allen, I injured my brain the day that I was born. By being born with my brain that I have. And the therapist that I had been seeing had prescribed me pills. And he, seeing me on the pills, well, this was like the third try. So these weren't the ones that didn't have any physical detriments. But when he noticed that I got into a state like this, he, and then when I described to him what it was like being in this state, he wanted me to stop taking them unless, I use them as a kill switch. And so I had stopped. But I'm not stopping lately because I'm going to blame it on the anxiety of and the stress of a new job and moving and all of that. And that's where we're gonna leave this at. And we'll not ask any further questions because that might be smart.
So that's the answer you get.
That's the answer I'm giving.
Yeah. No more questions. Press conference over.
I totally could have. I totally probably could have, made that sound a lot more entertaining.
Well,
Am I is pilled up Kadund curing your insomnia right now?
good morning, Jolly Rogers.
Hello, Jolly Rogers.
Wow. And you could watch amazing things like a man swinging his child, or of course Indiana Jones running away from the Picard ball being powered by a small kitty. There's some weird gifts out there. I'll tell you what. Turish asks, have you tried smashing things with a sledgehammer? Usually works for me.
I have smashed things with a sledgehammer, but I currently do not have a sledgehammer. Things that would be wise for me to smash.
That's a good one, Geo. I'm gonna have to copy that one. I think they took that from Wolfen. I'm pretty sure. Well, except for the part where, Burger King shows up. I tell you what, now I don't know if you guys were conscious or around at the time, but when they initially started with that Burger King campaign ad, he was the creepiest motherfucker. And none of us could figure out why they even thought for a second that was a cool ad. I mean, he should have been driving around in a van that had free candy written on the side of it. He was that amount of creepy. Good morning, Gaming and Yelling.
Hello, Gaming and Yelling. And that is a disturbing amount of creepy.
Oh yeah. That fake head that the guy was wearing. I mean, it never changed expression. It always looked like one of those old pictures you'd find in a haunted mansion where the eyes follow you no matter where you go in the room.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a character I would not trust with my children. God, I was up until almost 9 o'clock this morning. Shit, a yawn. God damn it. I would say honestly, for the interview last night, I was on autopilot, man. She made it easy. I didn't have to work at all.
No, she was really entertaining.
Yeah. So I
Like
just kept drinking.
she she was very open too. Like it it helped, and you did help. You know, you asked some really good questions.
Well, and uh, one of the things that we talked about quite a bit, BTS is like, I want to make sure that we're gonna, be able to feature your art because I'm gonna run a slideshow. And her manager, um, Nick, was like, "Well, I can send you a couple," and he legitimately sent me three, and I'm like, I need more." So I went onto the website, and the website actually has numbers on some of the paintings, but some of the paintings, they were, I don't know if you call them dead spots, where there wasn't any intricacy to it or anything where I could just take and smudge the
Mm-hmm.
number off of the painting.
Mm,
So I pulled over 50 paintings on there, and yeah, we ran that for pretty much a half hour, and that made me happy. By the way, did I mention that I got my gloves yesterday?
no. Oh, yes, you did. Actually, you did in a DM.
Oh, thank you, Jolly Rogers. The people that I interview, they're the ones who are going to make it a good show or not. Um, I've always said that it doesn't make a difference if I'm driving the car. They're the one in the co-pilot seat giving the directions, and I'm glad that the back seat's big enough to fit our audience, so they can come along with the ride. God, that dog having Vietnam flashbacks watching the cupcakes still makes me laugh.
I have no idea what I'm looking at right. Oh, that's Sylvester Stallone.
Um, there's there's
The
quite a, there's quite a few different ones.
Yeah, there's a thing eating a coin, and now there's a Mexican with a soccer ball on his sombrero, and now I don't know what this is.
I like overweight Spider-Man humping the exercise ball too.
Oh, it is not live. That is okay. That is a finger sore
Yeah.
and a sassy Mona Lisa.
So yeah, I guess you're kind of caught up. But
Yeah,
yeah, I put in over 100 uh, gifts on this. So even if it does, scroll through, it doesn't get boring.
yeah. I had to push the live button to get it caught up, but oh my god, I don't know what
Yeah.
gods. Oh dear gods.
Like I said, there's some strange shit on here.
Just a bit. But but yeah, I had to uninstall one of the updates for YouTube because it was not opening at all on my phone. Like it kept shutting it down even though it wasn't running. And then when I tried to actually open it, it wouldn't open. So I uninstalled the update. So now I'm back on like old YouTube format. So
Yeah.
it feels a little slower. Like it really feels slower to me.
I feel slower, but that's just, life.
Yeah, I'm pretty mushy right now, but that's just pills.
I would think some of these would be a little nightmarish.
I mean, a couple a couple seem to be in that nightmare zone.
Although the chick doing the taco pass. And that one's kind of frightening. Yeah. Good morning, Alex.
Hello, Alex. Like, if you were trying to make it so that people had insomnia, these are definitely the gifts to do it because, this is, this would give people nightmares.
Well, unless you're really, really drunk.
Or high. I guess if you're really high, this would be entertaining in a whole different way. Yeah, but, but this is the kind of thing that I'm pretty sure would give people nightmares and keep them from falling or ever wanting to try and fall asleep ever again.
Uh, uh, I'm there more for the what the fuck is this? I don't know what's up with this banana commercial either. The Japanese are incredibly fucked up.
Oh yes, that is an understatement.
It'll come up in a minute, but
Oh yeah, you're watching it real time.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh, well, I've got OBS up in the small window. I figured out how to do all the window things. Good God! Oh, what the fuck? I didn't do a damn thing today. I woke up late. I was gonna get all decked out in the Doc Griffin costume since it's complete, but I realized I'm missing one thing.
the mouth hole.
Well, no, she's gonna have to do that a little bit later. Um, Wifey volunteered to seamstress the eyes and the mouth hole, but I can give a presentation of the costume with one exception, and uh, I haven't quite picked the tie that I want to go with, but I'm pretty sure I got a couple of hundred ties. So,
If you still had that macrame tie that
oh no,
you've
that
been
thing's gone.
describing,
Somebody
yeah.
somebody rode off into the sunset with that one, just like my dead Kennedy's too drunk to fuck shirt. That's why that was one of the big reasons why I never wanted to have a live-in girlfriend, because they start stealing your shit. And God forbid the woman who tried to steal my fucking Motorhead shirt. Have mercy on her soul. I broke up with her just because of that, to be honest with you. I mean, the
For
sex wasn't
stealing
that
your
bad.
shirt?
Huh?
For stealing your shirt?
Yeah, she wanted to steal my shirt. She's like, oh, can I wear this to work? Fuck no, take that off right now. That is not a you shirt. That is a me shirt. Good morning, William. And yes, um, I have a Doc Griffin costume now. It is complete. Um, we just have to get the eye holes and the mouth hole done, because I'm going to have to do a couple of shows where I'm actually using my camera and streaming live. Uh, the first one coming up is going to be um, I'll be doing an interview with the guys at Pepper Palace, and Pepper Palace is sending me a kit that's going to have their hot sauces in it, and they want me to try it live on camera.
Oh,
So
that'll
I
be cool.
agreed. Although you won't be able to see my eyes, but I think I'll be expressive. And, and good morning, Patrice.
Hello, Patrice.
Mm. Um, no, but it's down between two ties. Um, both of them are, well, one's late 60s, one's early 70s. It's great to go take a look at uh, go to thrift stores because thrift stores mostly get shit from people who are dead, and that means that they were active probably about 30 or 40 years ago. So the ties can get pretty interesting. Um, well, I don't know. It could be sad, William, but I know I posted a picture previously when I got the mask and the goggles. But yeah,
Oh, Cheryl.
I got the suit jacket. I got the button up shirt. I just got the gloves in yesterday, and it's funny because they were like, these are these are leather suede gloves. It's like, no, they're not. There's some form of fucking rayon, like some brushed rayon, that kind of makes them look like suede. So I gave him a positive feedback, and I said, these are not suede, guys, but they're perfect for what I need because they're so thin, and the interior, the palm side, has rubber grippies on it, and it also has that little finger gimmick where you can actually uh, interact with your phone. William, I don't know if I really need to hear that tonight. Kadon, apparently he likes fat, hairy guys with tiny dicks.
I'm, well, I'm not surprised, although I guess I'm surprised that, he's switched up from liking fat Asian cat ladies.
Um, oh, okay, Patrice, you have me interested. What concert did you film? She streamed for 4.5 hours, streaming a concert.
Oh,
Oh, there's the Vietnam flashback dog. Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, Nicholas.
hello, Cheryl. Hello, Nicholas.
Um, no, no, gaming. Um, no, it's not the volume. She's on the slow groove tonight.
Yeah, I apologize. I could always try and talk louder, but I don't. I don't give a fuck.
Yes, don't conform. Be the rebel. Oh, and William says, "My heart will always be yours, cadet."
Oh, cool. I didn't realize you had one, but I'll keep a jar open for it.
Patrice, I'd be interested in taking a look at it if you wanna link it or if you wanna DM me over on Detwatters when it's actually uploaded. I'll take a look. I'm always interested in listening to new bands.
Besides, he needs something a little more entertaining than you know pilled up cadunt because pilled up cadunt is very quiet and not very exciting or upbeat as she normally is.
A bit demure, but hey, it was back to work day. You
Oh
can't
yeah,
you can't be faulted for that.
Godfather, this is about as close as I can have my microphone. Is this better for everybody?
And now, a little ASMR, courtesy of the Insomniac Ramble stream. I don't know,
So,
your sound levels were looking good on this side.
oh, well, that's good. So, fun fact. Um, Probably not fun. So I used to have almost 200 pills. Mind you, it wasn't quite 200 because when I was prescribed them and trying them out regularly, it had dropped, maybe at most 10 pills before my therapist had told me to no longer take them because yeah, that the way that I was on them, I didn't like it, and the way that I was on them, he didn't like it. So he had told me to stop, and he said, "Only take them if you absolutely need, if you need to, you know, pretty much kill switch it because it's kind of what they do, at least for me." Like, and that's when he had prescribed me the Xanax as well. Mind you, not 200 Xanax. That would have been really bad, but I could have made a really pretty penny off of that.
I tell you what, yeah. Especially if they
Well,
were the purple footballs.
they're not the purple, but he'd so I'd had maybe about 190, which had dropped a little more, uh, from like I think 5 times I've taken them. So we'll just say it was about 185 pills that I should have had left when I started taking them again recently, and I'm down to 96. So I think I I should ease up a little bit, and I even promised Lo-Fi that I would. But at the same time, it does kind of help to shut everything down in a very glorious way.
Well,
And not glorious, just it shuts everything down.
my good news of today was as of January 1st, I'll actually be back on insurance and I can go see my doctor again.
That's awesome, Doc. I'm really happy for you. I
Yeah,
I know it doesn't sound like it, but I swear that I am.
yeah. It's only
And
been what 15 months since I've seen the doctor.
the
And I'm sure he's not going to be happy with the fact that I've been off all my medications. Although, I'll be honest with you, I really don't give a shit about the insulin anymore. But, oh man, to have that Ambien. But then again, it will probably kill this stream because Ambien puts me down.
hey, better that you're doing well, you know. And if you get good rest and that helps you, then I'd rather that than worry about a stream, you know.
Well,
But
the only thing that I want to make sure of is that because wifey does not sleep well if I'm not in the bed. Um, you sleep with somebody for 10 years, and I guess that's one of the side effects. But she likes to have me in the bed. She enjoys doing the, laying on my chest. And uh, I don't think she'll kick my ass for saying this, but she snores. And it's not like, that big old chainsaw, ratchety kind of snoring. It's just that slow and low kind of thing. And
mm,
I like white noise when I sleep. And so her snoring has pretty much become my white noise.
and
So
and She probably has her own set of white noise by listening to the beat of your heart and your slow breathing.
Yeah, I don't snore. Um, and people are like, "Oh, everybody snores," blah blah blah. And I was like, "No, I usually I usually have very good sinuses, so I usually inhale and exhale through my nose. Um, you know, because the old thing where they say, in your uh, what is it in their lifetime, um, the people who sleep with their mouth open usually eat like 10 spiders.
Yes.
So I don't want to eat any spiders. Um, Cheryl, I tried melatonin. It sucks. It does not work on me at all. The only because my whole deal is I need to put my brain down. I need to basically grind the gears back because at any given time, well, before the brain damage shit set in and Swiss cheesed my memory, um, I would have anywhere between 4 to 6 thoughts running through my head at any given time. And now with the brain damage, it's about 3 to 4 thoughts. But still, my mind keeps continuously working on these things and it won't let me sleep. It'll just keep thinking about them. That's why one of my tricks to get to sleep when I'm feeling kind of sleepy is when I hit the bed, I'll start thinking about something. Like it could be as easy as figuring out the directions to get to the bodega and in my mind projecting myself walking to the bodega or uh, figuring out a recipe. Like last night, I went to sleep figuring out how I was going to do chicken Alfredo tonight. And it got good reviews.
Oh, that's good.
Well, there are very few things that I'm confident in, and one of them is cooking. There are only 4 things that I know I do really well, so I'm not braggadocious about it. I'm sincere when I talk about those 4 things, and one of them's cooking. But then again, I was taught by um, all my grandparents had skills. 3 of them were in the cooking realm. The fourth one, she was a great drinker. Um, she drank like a motherfucker and chain smoked. I mean, she's like the kind of old lady with the really raspy voice. It was so raspy, in fact, that she had a minor bird that could imitate her and imitate her to a T. It was scary. Um, and she used to drink one type of beer only. It was called Mark V. Good morning, Sir Adamantine.
Hello, Adamantine.
It was called Mark V beer. She drank so much Mark V beer that on the occasion when she died, we went down into the refrigerator um, and we found 2 cases of odd beer. Like 1 out of every 1,000 will have something weird with it, like a misprinted label, or like she had one can of beer that had pull tabs on the top and the bottom. She had one that had no pull tabs on it. Um, she used to collect the odd beers, and by the time she died, she had 2 cases worth. So she'd be a good drinker. Um, uh, Now, Malachite, that's an interesting proposition. Even if you have a gaping ass, if you have butt cheeks, that should close around the gape anyway, because the gape really doesn't happen unless you squat. So that's my supposition. I would guess there would be no spiders. There would be no ass spiders to deal with. Are you about ready to knock out, Kadan?
Are you?
Yeah, I'm still good, but I mean, if you gotta, you gotta. I mean,
I
we're
mean,
what, an hour in, I think.
yeah, yeah. Only if even I'm not sure what time it had gotten started. For some reason, the notifications never went off for me.
Yeah, it fired up a little bit after two, and I
Well,
forgot to send you the link, which I normally do. I
oh
was just
no,
being all retarded, making sure that that the uh, the new um, gift slideshow was in effect.
no worries. Um, I don't know. I
Well, yeah, I know, Mr. LM. I know that not everyone has, ass cheeks big enough to close a gate, but I mean, seriously, if you think about it, most people sleep on their back anyway. And if you sleep on your side, you should get a little bit of a slide there. The only way I can think of where you could possibly expose a gaping asshole if you're sleeping on your stomach or got your butt propped up. So,
you you seem to have roboted really bad after got your butt.
am I roboting?
Only there was just one. It wasn't quite a robot, but the sound went really wonky.
Oh, because the stream quality, I don't know how I can get it any better. I've lowered it down to the lowest setting, and it still runs at okay. So, I don't know what. Let's
I
see.
mean, if anything, is there anybody that you want to toss a link to so that if I have to go, you can keep going?
Well, this is not a stream without you, Kadan.
Oh, but it can be. I mean, it's basically been one this whole hour because this is not normal Kadun. This is very pilled up Kadun. Kadun really likes her pills right now.
Well, if you ever get sick of them, you can just send them my way.
I will. I'll ship you some Xanax if you want because I think I think having those is too tempting to take them. Uh,
I'm a fan of Xanax. Um, it's funny. We had a buddy that went to. It was like a 2 year program, a pharmacology school, so he could become a pharmacist. And man, did he forge prescriptions left and right. He ended up going to jail for it, but we kind of made out like bandits. Mm. Although he was the first asshole to introduce me to Oxy, and woof, uh,
was
OxyContin
that a
is.
good wolf or bad wolf?
Mm. Oh, it's good for a while until you have to start maintaining it. See, I think that's a problem with people who have heroin problems because of the fact that it's legit. Um, the
It
whole
becomes a
thing,
physical dependency.
yeah. But then again, I was on tramadol like a motherfucker. My shit doctor was just like because I had torn my rotator cuff in a car crash. Well, it was less of a car crash than a fucking semi truck hitting me from behind.
Oof.
Yeah. And she was like, well, this is here, let me just prescribe you tramadol because it's a mild pain or it's a mid-range pain reliever and it's non-addictive. You get down the road and you see that people are um, uh, fucking pirating tramadol for black market, and I had like 200 a month, and it got to the point where to go into work, I was taking them, oh God, at least a dozen a day. And the recommended dosage was about, well, they were like one every 4 hours or when needed. So, yeah, I was abusing the fuck out of them. I even went to my doctor and I said, you have to reduce the amount that you're giving me. And she's like, okay. So she dropped it down from 200 to 180. And I got to the point where I was bartering them off with my other pill fiend friends. I'm like, hey, I got a big thing of tram coming in. What you guys got, And we trade back and forth.
Yeah, I've had trades before. Um, before the before the Depakote, my my doctor had attempted to prescribe me fucking what was it? Triliptol, I think it was.
Um, well, tramadol or trazodone. They had me prescribed on trazodone too. Trazodone was initially made to help Vietnam veterans deal with PTSD,
Mm-hmm.
and they were giving me like 1,000 milligram pills. And whoa, that okay. I took one before I went into work, or I took two before I went into work. And like 2 hours in, one of my friends stopped by my cubicle, and she stopped by with a tissue because I was drooling. I was legitimately drooling. And so I knew that those would not be good for me. And I stopped doing them. I eventually, um, I went in once because I was having a real bad time. Um, and they were like, well, you've got opioids in your system. And I was like, how the hell do I have opioids here? Here's the list of stuff that I take. And it's like, oh, well, tramadol is kind of a low grade opioid. So every fucking time that I've gone in for my strokes, they've been like, and are you still on tramadol? And I'm like, I haven't been on tramadol since 2013, you fuckers. Can you finally erase that from my medical chart? These guys were so uppity about that, but they wouldn't give me a fucking Ambien to sleep. They'd be like, here's a Dilaudid pump. When you need to sleep, you just hit that pump. And it's like,
Fuck.
Dilaudid is not going to put me to sleep. It will get me high, but it won't put me to sleep. I mean, I legit had a psychotic break when I was in there for the MRSA infection. They refused to give me tramadol, or they refused to give me Ambien. And on the fourth day of having no sleep, I just snapped. I ripped all the IVs out of my arms. I was bleeding all over my fucking computer. I got dressed, and I walked to the elevator, and I was hitting the button. I called wifey, and I'm like, you got to come pick me up. I'm fucking done with this place. I'm out of here. And the nurse's station didn't know what to do because it was right next to the elevator. And I was sitting there pressing the button, waiting for the elevator. And the orderly showed up and they're like, "You have to go back to bed." And I was like, "I don't have to do shit, you motherfuckers. Get away from me. You guys are trying to you guys are trying to make me snap. You haven't let me sleep for 4 fucking days. I can't take this anymore. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna get me some of my Ambien that's waiting for me at home. I'm going to bed." And I don't know. Have I ever told you this story?
No. No, you did not.
No. Well, wifey showed up about 10 minutes later when they were talking to me. And she's like, "Honey, you got to go back to bed. Go back and I will make sure." And the resident practitioner, it was nothing but, a doctor who had become a paper pusher, said, "Well, we've got him on this and we've got him on that." She's just like, "You know what? Here's what you need to do. Get him a fucking Ambien and get it now. And let him sleep. You guys got to take care of this because you fucked it up. You're not letting him sleep. He hasn't slept in 4 fucking days. So that's why he is how he is right now. And it's not going to get any better until you allow him to get some sleep." So what they did to make up with the flub, and where I live, it's the birthplace of the Estevezes and the Sheens. Matter of fact, my aunt slept with like two of the four Sheen brothers, or Estevez brothers, because she's a hooer. Um, so what they did was they agreed to move me to a single room. Now, keep in mind, I've been running Dilaudid shots every 2 hours straight, and I've been up for 4 fucking days. So they moved me, and they moved me into what they call the Sheen penthouse. And what it is it's when you get high profile people in. This place is really decked out. I mean, instead of having, just the normal hospital twin bed, it's legit a king size bed, and it still has all the features of a hospital bed. You can raise and lower yourself and all that fun shit. Um, and it had like a flat screen TV in it. It had it had a DVD VCR player in it. You could essentially get any of the pay channels. Everything was natural grain cherry wood. Just really tricked out. A really nice one, and it had a penthouse window where you could look out and watch the sunset over the hills. And I came in there just as the sun was getting ready to go down. And keep in mind, I'm whacked out at this point. I have no fucking clue what's going on. They're very somber when they're talking about, well, we're going to have to move you. And I legitimately thought, in my mind, that they were moving me to a place that, basically moving me to isolate me so they could kill me. So they could just put me out of my misery and kill me. And, I walked into the room with my IV stand, and I looked out and was watching the sun start to set. And I could hear the orderly coming up back behind me. And tears were just streaming down my face. Because I'm like, yep, he's just going to walk up and put 2 right in the back of my fucking head. I'm dead. And all I could do, because I was so fucked up, because I was so out of it, was just cry. That's all I could do. And then he came up close to me, and I'm like, just do it. Just go ahead and do it. And he's like, what? And I'm like, you're here to kill me. Just do it. Get it over with. He's like, oh, no, no. And he immediately calls in the doctor that's on call for that night to bring him in. And the doctor was like, we reassure you, sir, that we're not going to kill you. We just wanted to move you um, to get you out of where you were. And their whole thing was they thought that the MRSA might be infectious. So that's
Wow.
why they were isolating me. And it took my wife to calm me down. And that very night, they showed up with that Ambien, and they left me the fuck alone and let me sleep. And I was a completely different person after that. I even took in my Facebook, because I had the computer.
Mm-hmm.
I even took and cataloged the days. Any time that I felt like writing, um, I cataloged what was happening at that very day, and it's amazing. I've got to put it into one of my stories because it literally was uh, a blow by blow account of a guy losing his fucking mind. And I don't remember much of it anymore, but when I reread that, it brings everything back. It was mind blowing. Let's see here. Um, Michael is saying opioid dependence addiction is insane. Many heroin addicts start off addicted to Oxycontin, oxycodone, etc. The China white heroin that can be snorted went through my block like the plague. Yeah, I live in a place that in my state is the third largest for heroin and opioid overdoses and deaths. And it is a real big problem because there were too many doctors out there prescribing opioids, and people could not afford them. But when you have heroin, which is about the third the price of the pills that they want to prescribe you, then yeah, you get junkies. So, and I know there was just a legislation on to make sure that holding fentanyl would be brought down to a misdemeanor crime instead of a felony.
Really?
Oh yeah, um, I know people right now who are on fentanyl, and a buddy of mine, he's like, you know what? I can't operate anymore. I can't maintain. He's like, I'm not getting high off this shit, but it helps me maintain. He's like, I feel just like a junkie because it's definitely not getting any worse, but it sure as hell ain't getting any better. And he's on like, goddamn, what was it, like 50 milligram patches?
Oh, damn.
And a girl who's a friend of mine, they just started her off on 5 milligram patches, and she's like, "This shit blows me away." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, well my buddy is taking like 50." She's like, "How the fuck can he do that?" It's like, well, over time, he fucked his foot up on a bike, of course. Half my buddies have road scars. Shit happens, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But they fused his ankle bone, and now that he's getting older, it's causing quite a bit of pain. But then again, he's overweight too, so that will have some dealings. I think the only reason why I'm kind of getting by at this point is because I've dropped so much weight. Jolly Rogers, I can't imagine having MRSA in your fucking sinuses. Um, ooh, yeah. I had a MRSA infection. I had this very uncomfortable lump in my perineum, or taint, as you would call it, and it was incredibly sore. And so we decided, because wifey's just like, we need to go to the hospital. And I'm like, there's no problem. I tell you what, if it gets, more than a golf ball size, then okay, cool, we'll go. I won't fight you. And so it did, and we went to the hospital, and the doctor who came in and saw me um, brought in a needle and poked it and wanted to draw something out of it, and then basically have labs done on it. Well, what the asshole did was he actually ruptured it, and it swelled to the size of a softball. So they immediately wheeled me to the better emergency room, where they tried to prescribe me 3 medications I was allergic to. Brilliant.
Uh,
Oh, my wife was, she was ready to tear them a new asshole. She was like, you guys need to learn how to do your fucking job, because if you kill my husband, I'm going to kill you. There will be no lawsuits. There will just be murder. And she was serious.
she's a good wifey.
Yeah, she's a good wifey. So yeah, Jolly Rogers, that's how I ended up with this uh, uh, nice vertical smile between my asshole and my scrotum. Actually, they did actually cut into my scrotum too. Um, they left about a 4.5 inch they scar. They opened me up. Um, and yeah, I was that whole trip was just a fucking horror show. Well, and around here, I don't know how it is in other states, but around here, doctors, in order to lower their insurance, no longer prescribe pain medication. So they have things around here called pain clinics, and you have to go to a pain clinic, and they run you through a battery, even psychological testing, before they will prescribe anything to you. And it's a really fucked up system. And there were people who jumped on the wagon early and said, "Oh fuck yeah, pain clinic. We'll get a lot of people in and out." And they found out the hard way that they could not be a prescription pad for junkies and dependents. So everything changed, and all of a sudden, all the multitudes of pain clinics that we have were reduced by about 60%. So they started going away, and going away fast. Um, which really fucked with my wife, because she's got fibro, and she needs that shit. She doesn't take a lot. As a matter of fact, one of the things that they make you do is bring in your pill bottles so they can count your pills. And she would always bring in a pill bottle, and the pill bottle, only half of them would be taken. And she's like, yeah, I only take them when I'm in pain. Um, Yeah, Michael. Fentanyl's getting to be a problem around here, but there are still a lot of doctors that like to prescribe fentanyl. It's the it's the it's the boutique pain med right now, and they're only now finding out that it's not a good thing to have.
Hey,
so
Doc.
so Kadan,
Um,
how you doing?
I might be fading. I can't tell. I just, I know I'm really low energy and I have a nice early morning, but I'm just trying to shut my brain off right now.
Well, we shan't stand in your way if that's what you need to do.
Yeah, but I figured I'd remind you, like, I don't have to be here for you to invite other people on to have nice discussion.
Yeah, but for me, you do. I'm not putting any pressure on you, but it's just not as much fun if you're not around.
I don't think it's been that much fun tonight anyway.
Yeah, I was just telling horrible medical stories.
There's nothing wrong with that. We get to hear about your poor perennial.
Yeah, I tell you what, I, I think I've told this story before, but Jesus, uh, when uh, um, when the doctor came in and checked on me, he just took the scissors and cut the stitches, and then like a incredibly shitty magician, he started pulling gauze out of the hole like a magician pulling scarves from a hat.
God.
And you could feel that shit coming out too. I mean, it wasn't painful, but it was that cold, uncomfortable thing. I don't know if you've ever had like a catheter or a drainage tube pulled from you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the feeling. You know your body shudders, and he pulled all this fucking the grotesquely bloody and pussy cotton out of me, threw it in the trash can, and he's like, "Well, everything looks good here," and he walks away. And I'm
Oh,
and I'm like, "What? Wait!" And I was like, "Honey, go back and get him." And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "He just left me completely open. He didn't repack the wound or anything." So I'm hitting the nurse button. She's going out to get this guy, and this guy's like, "Well, I don't do that." So we had to find a fucking resident to come in and pack my balls again. And this was a process they had to do every day. So as I'm losing my fucking mind, I'm having people do magic tricks from the hole between my ass and my balls, and just going through that over and over again. I mean, if there was anything in my life that would have given me PTSD, that probably would have been it had I not been so fucking doped out on Dilaudid. Okay, Mr. LM's saying Betty bye time, so have a good night.
good night, Mr. LM.
Yeah, if if we go any longer, I'm going to be out here by 4 anyway, which is about a half hour.
Yeah, so,
Um, Actually, I have to disagree with you, Michael. They've cracked down here in Ohio as far as being lenient about prescriptions because there were a lot of lawsuits that came in and shut down pain clinics. And yeah, it's literally you have to have a reference or a referral. You have to take a psych evaluation before they'll even do anything. You have to bring in the pills that you're taking, and it's just oh man, It's they still make her jump through hoops because when these pain clinics shut down, they don't put the records online or make them available to any other pain clinics. So she's got to go through the process again, over and over. And I'd rather do that whole MRSA gig 1,000 times over than have her do that one thing again and again and again. Drives me
Mm-hmm.
nuts. Well, actually, Mr. LM, I appreciate that, but uh, I'm not sorry that it happened. It gave me an experience that I never had before, and it's so funny because we always talk about pain, and the kid just recently had her gallbladder taken out, and she's got like three little scars from when it happened, and um, when I did mine, my gallbladder was uh, necrotic and gangrenous, which basically means dead and rotting.
Yeah.
And it was very briefly to explode and rupture. But
Yeah, I remember you posting a picture on about it.
oh yeah, but they got it out in time, and I was back walking around in like 3 days. Uh, she took like a whole week. It was like, oh, I'm still hurt. Oh, and I'm like, stop being a pussy. Good God. Mine was dead and rotting and almost fucking killed me. And I was back up a couple days afterwards doing shit. But then again, I'm kind of obstinate. I don't like
Mm.
anything to keep me down. As a matter of fact, I ended up, when I was doing therapy for my right hand, I ended up over exercising and hurting my hand even more. So now I have to be careful with the putty and the squeezy ball and all that bullshit. Uh, Weakness is what irritates me the most, I think. I hate being weak.
I I can actually really understand that.
I am certainly not a fan of excuses either. I mean, because I know people who will ride a condition, and for all it's worth. So essentially, what they're doing is lowering expectations from other people. So they technically are excusing themselves from having to perform at their best.
Mm.
I don't know. I think Joke, um, he's down in Florida. I think he goes to a pain clinic. I have to ask him about that sometime.
Yeah, but
But
now it's obviously not that time.
yeah,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it, Doc.
I will miss you, Kadun.
Oh, it's all right. Listen. One thing I know you can do is you can survive without me.
I'll try to stretch it out for the people that are left here.
Yeah,
Um,
no worries. Um, I would say, like, I'm just saying, there's a there's 11 people watching. Why don't you toss a link to somebody?
you know, we should try to get people in who haven't been in.
Yeah. Have you had Lady Lawn be in?
Lady Longby has not been in yet. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if 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 she is willing, because I can't find you on on Twitter. I've gone Twitter stupid. Um, if you would send me a DM, I would be happy to send you a link, Lady Longby.
Oh, and you can always you can always try to have a Jolly Rogers on uh for a second go without too much crazy happening.
That's true. Also, I'd extend an invite since we're talking about this to Michael if he
Yeah,
wants to come on.
but I think for now I'm going I'm going to drop some money on your dresser and head out.
Well, and what's the old saying that my grandmother used to say? May angels watch over you while you sleep.
Oh, well, I mean, if they want, they'd have to fight with the demons that watch over me while I sleep too.
Ah, yes. Uh, all the devils that disturbed them and the angels that defeated them somehow come together in me now.
I mean, maybe not at the same time. Like they can come one at a time, because together that'd be a little. Anyway, I
Well, they could
had to
have a
go
hoedown.
somewhere perverted, right? At least one perverted comment from Kadant.
Well, hon, you go take your sleeps.
Well, I'm gonna try. I think I'm gonna go and take like a hot bath or something.
Yeah, that's what wifey likes to do. But then
Mm.
again, we've got a streak going that anytime she's got a fibro flare, I always give her a rub down. And in the 10 years that we've been together, I have never refused her.
Well, that's because you're a good hubby.
I'll try to be. I'd like to be a better one. Get out, earn some fucking money, have a job again. Good God, that would be nice.
Oh, you know what? You gotta take care of you first. And I know that you're getting a little cabin fevery, but until you can, you know, even just doing this, it's doing what you gotta do and what you can do. And I think you're doing amazing, Doc.
I appreciate that. I think this has been a real uh, sanity palate cleanser for me. Because wifey was just like, you spend so much time around the computer anyway. Why don't you just go ahead and broadcast? And I'm like, ah. So I'm not gonna delay you.
Oh, no worries. Um, but yeah, you have a great night, Doc. I'm sorry I'm bumping out early.
You're okay, hon. Hey, you had the first day. It's time to unwind.
Yeah. Well, I got day two tomorrow, and hopefully I won't get lost on the drive there like I did like I did today. And who knows, maybe I'll get off early tomorrow and be able to have some unwind time.
Hey, I can send a link to. Apparently, Lady Gaga just came up. I can send a link to her.
Oh, well, okay.
I'm pretty sure I don't want her anywhere near my chat.
Mhm.
Yeah, the only
Hmm.
one I've got is the only one I've got is Zach's. Lady Longby. And you think he would mention you somewhere on his page. Okay. But yeah, if and you wanna. Um, I don't do Discord very well either. Um, I don't know. Should we switch back to the other? Yeah, let's go ahead. Okay, weird slideshow. We'll go back to the regular, IRS, slide. go. Okay. Let's go. There's Lucky Skunk. And I will even follow you. And that's a better Lady Justice than Hey Man, Nice Shots. Almost Barbarella-like. Okay. So, I won't send you one, Michael, but if you're ever not working, you do have an open invite. You haven't been on before. I'm not. All my learning comes from absorption, which legitimately means I have to fuck it up to fix it. And then once I fix it, then I've figured it out and I can go from there. Well, I know I'm going to have to do this now. Got to plug my vape in. What the hell is wrong with this thing? Okay, there we go. It's charging. There we go. My buddy who just closed down his vape shop stopped by and handed me over a buttload of coils and vapes, and he even gave me a new rig because he knew that my old one was. I put my old one through some work, y'all. I probably had that thing about a year and a half, and then after constant usage, it decided it didn't want to really work very well anymore. Well, the last place I worked, John Doe, we had an IT guy that, and good morning, Wild Fox. We had an IT guy who was legit the only reason why he was there was because at the time he kind of knew about computers, but well, it was a call center, but he spent way too much time hitting on the other girls. So in order to keep him away from the girls, they made him official IT and put him in his own little room. So I guess being a perv actually has benefits. But it's so funny. I mean, the guy looked like he had a set of meth teeth, if you know what I mean. I mean, like toothbrushes ran in fear from him. Wild Fox, do you have one with a self-contained battery or a replaceable battery where you can actually pull the battery out? Because most of the time, I won't have one that I won't have any type of mod where you can't change the batteries out. The ones with the self-contained batteries, those aren't going to last very long, and they have a tendency to burn out a whole hell of a lot quicker. And you know, your mod's still good as long as your power source is still good. So if you can pull batteries and put new ones in, then you know all is right with the world. Although my buddy convinced me to go to a 2-battery setup. I was always kind of keen on the single battery. But it hits harder. Yeah, but John Doe, with some of those rigs, you have to solder. And that's not necessarily a good thing. Or at least I personally wouldn't call it a good thing. And welcome to the stream, Jolly Roger.
How's it going, Doc? Can you hear me all right?
Yep, you sound just fine.
All right, good deal.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, everything's looking good on it. We are reading well.
Yeah, I never know if these earbuds are gonna work. They're held together with some electrical tape right now, so.
Well, actually, last time that I bought a headset with a mic, I bought one for $1, one for $2, and one for $3. And
There you go.
And little by little, all of them lasted me probably maybe about 2 months. And then they just started shitting the bed. So, I got like 6 months of effort out of it. And that was the time before I actually started doing any type of streaming. I mean, I got a Samsung Pro mic now. And I honestly don't even use cans because I don't like them. I don't like them at all.
Yeah, I just got some basic little earbuds. I don't do a whole lot of streaming or anything. I do occasionally get on channels every now and then, talk to friends, that kind of shit, but not too often.
Yeah, I used to get onto a lot of them. I guess you get addicted to that rush. With
Yeah.
with playing with other people and I can say without any false modesty that I was going into a lot of different neighborhoods, and that's what I like the most because I'd get on, I guess you'd call them a panel. I would get on a panel, and at least half of those people I'd never spoken with before.
Yeah. Yeah, those are usually pretty fun.
Yeah, I had a good time the first time Sir Adamantine brought me on to one of his streams. I didn't know anybody on it. Well, I think iRate was there, and I had talked to him in another stream previously. But besides that, I didn't know anybody else. Just like when Trippy invited me on to TrippyCast, I really didn't know anybody. Joaquin was the same way. SMG, a lot of diverse people, which I find kind of fun. The only ones that really fucking drive me nuts at this point are the ones who are like, "Oh, Goyim shekels," I'm like,
I can understand that.
I'm like, wasn't that shit played out like back in January? I mean, put the stick down. The horse
January
is dead.
of 2012.
Yeah, I mean, you can think that only retards and 12-year-olds will pull a joke that long.
Yeah, you know what they say, autism never forgets.
Yeah, and the shit was, it wasn't that funny to start off with. So they were already at a disadvantage.
But yeah, I get where you're coming from there, because the other night whenever I came on, that was really the first time I've came on a live stream in this corner of the internet, so.
Yeah, I honestly,
I enjoyed it, though. It's fun.
I honestly consider this pretty much the crossroads.
Yeah.
Because
that's kind of the feel I get off of it.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can come on, and as long as they're not being assholes to each other, then I'm cool with it. We let what was it, Godbotherer and Punish Dad kumite each other, and it was semi entertaining, but to me it just got old quick. I mean they'd still be allowed to come on. There's only a couple people that I don't think I'd really want on here, and well, like I can't really trust Anal Vape to come on to a stream because he will give the stream out. He'll give the stream link out. So, I mean,
Yeah, it wouldn't be about that.
Yeah, he's welcome to come on as long as he doesn't do something assholish like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the trust just isn't there. I would rather talk to him when he's on somebody else's stream somewhere else. Although I did get on one of his streams once, and legit, there were more people in the damn stream than actually watching the stream. And it was all goyim and yelling, and I'm just like, dude, this is the part of the neighborhood that I'm going to stay away from.
Yeah, that's a fairly common trend in certain corners.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like people are looking to either pick a fight or just bash the shit out of somebody else.
Yeah, that's what it is. People too much time on their hands.
Yeah, I mean, it's special needs Kumite.
That's a good way to put it.
Although I thought it was weird when I went on the Kumite last week. That was such a weird conversation. We were talking about Jim Davis, the creator of Garfield.
Mm.
And I sure as shit didn't win Tonka any subs that day. Because it got heavy duty metaphysical quick.
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't mind.
Yeah, well, it was a conversation that was different. I can't say it was better, but it was different.
Yeah, I haven't really been able to follow the Kumite a whole lot in the last 4 months because work. But now that I'm laid off again, I'm kind of on vacation for a while, so.
Well, then yeah, get yourself a decent headset. I'm sure others will let you pop in.
I've been thinking about it.
It's something to do.
Yeah, I really never even touched any of this until, oh man, I think it was December last year. If I remember right, that was the first time I actually started interacting with people, and it just kind of grew from there.
Yeah, it was weird. The first place that I ever did anything on was BYBS.
Yeah.
That was, shall I say, interesting? Because these guys were used to debating fallacies. Now, I take no pride in the fact that I was a debate coach for a high school, but yeah, that's something you really want to stay away from, because debating fallacies makes you look like a fool. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I'm more into the whole interesting conversations over debating anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you can always present an argument. That's fine. But the thing is, there really should be some type of sanity and logic behind your argument, which most of these guys didn't have. I mean, I was in a debate with, what was it, Workin and Destiny and Diogenes all together, and I just got tired of it. I read them the fucking riot act. I'm like, you guys don't understand that whatever you're thinking of doing here at this point means legitimately nothing because all you're doing is talking. There is no action to what you're doing. You don't have an actual solution to any problem. You're pissing and whining about it. Like, oh, what's that thing? Yeah, millennials.
I'm sure they love that comparison.
Yeah, they weren't happy. There was no love in Mudville.
Mm-hmm.
But
I can
yeah,
say that because I'm a millennial myself.
but yeah, I mean, millennial has become a dirty word.
Oh, it absolutely has.
And it's
Yeah,
so funny because when they started doing the whole boomer thing, you know, we who are old were just laughing like a son of a bitch. We thought it was funny as hell.
Yeah.
Because you know what, guys, it doesn't really affect us. It's not an insult because I think they forgot the fact that um, boomers were also called the Great Generation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole generational warfare thing doesn't really get you anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to cause strife and conflict, that's fucking fine. But at least have your shit together when you go into battle.
Yeah.
Make sure your cup's strapped on.
I mean, the whole premise behind both sides is just vast generalizations on either side and just basically shit throwing at each other.
Yeah, I mean, making suppositions. And okay, great. You're going to have an argument. Let's take this argument to its logical conclusion. If A, then B. I think that's really pretty simple. That's a
Yeah, I've been in the construction industry for the last 2 years, and if there's one thing I've learned, it is that logic is absolutely a dirty word.
yeah, it can be. It can be. Um, I know. I know. Personally, for me, some of the best conversations that I've had have been on a construction site.
Oh yeah, you'll definitely meet some interesting and wild characters on every single job site. Usually, it's the ones that are leading the jobs that have the least amount of logic.
Yeah, I mean yeah, it can run into um, and it normally does run into the everyday and the mundane kind of setup, but you get to the point where some of these guys that you talk to can really seriously deep dive. That they've got a what I kind of like to call a country point of view, but it's completely based in logic. Like I was saying, if A then B.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be a fucking genius to make a point.
Oh no, absolutely not. You just have to know what you're about, really.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like when people call other people simpletons for expressing a point of view when they have no legitimate point of view themselves. They just like to shit talk.
Yeah, that's a very common trend right there. That's on fucking every single side.
Yeah, I mean, and it always gets to me because it's like, okay, you don't like this, great. What's your solution to this? How are you going to be able, to push us forward to make modern society better? And most of the time, all they want to do is cite case study and say, this is why it's bad. Okay, I get it. If I accept that this is why it's bad, then how can you make it good?
Yeah, there's entirely way too many Google scholars out there. I think that's a big part of that issue.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people mistake um, um, learned knowledge or intelligence for wisdom.
Yeah,
And they are two incredibly different things.
absolutely. I've only been around for 25 years now, but I definitely see a thousandfold more value in experience over education, because that's where you actually learn shit and experience.
Well, yeah, you can teach people anything, but does does that mean that they're actually applying what they learn?
Yeah,
And
that was my problem in high school.
oh yeah, I mean, I was test smart. I did not bother. Yay!
That was pretty.
And Lady Lawnby has the link, and she's going to see if she can get her mic to work.
Yeah, there you go.
I have not spoken with her, nor have I ever heard her voice.
Yeah, I don't believe I have either.
And I think if we get a long show, I think I'll bring John Doe in and probably William Stenchiver, because I haven't talked to those two either. But for tonight, we're on kind of a slow roll. So,
Well, I got
you've had
time to
time
hang,
off.
so I'm good.
What have you been doing?
No, I've only been off for about, it's been about a week now, so I just pretty much just trying to catch up on all the shit that I was missing. It's usually how it goes whenever you're working 60 plus hours a week for 4 months or so, and then you finally get some time off.
Yeah, but did you really miss anything?
Not really.
There was an extreme amount of mental masturbation going on.
Yeah, there's always that. I did finally get caught up with Game of Thrones.
See, now I haven't found the appeal for Game of Thrones.
It's a good show. It's definitely worth the watch and all that, but it's
Well,
in
I
my
mean, Lucy
opinion,
Lawless
it's
showed her titties again, and I am appreciative of that.
oh yeah, titties always make everything better. But
Well, especially Lucy Lawless's.
yeah,
Let's not underestimate the sexuality of Xena Warrior Princess.
I would never.
Yeah, I don't care, man. I still think she was hot. She still is. She would be one of those MILFs. Invite me over for MILF and cookies and see if I don't show up.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that statement.
Although, wifey got mad at me last night because she was like, "Well, did you tell Ginger Lynn?" And I'm like, "Tell Ginger Lynn what?" And she was like, "That she was my favorite porn star." And I'm like, "No. This was information that was just shared to me."
Yeah, that would have been pertinent information to have beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, if she likes that booty, then I can't say that she's wrong. I mean, yeah, she still is. Even in MILF status, she's still hot.
Yeah. I've got a kind of a bad track record with MILFs.
Only bad track record that I have with MILFs is if they happen to be the mother of the girl that I'm dating at that point.
Yeah, I can see how that'd be a hairy situation.
And I can say, like mother, like daughter is not necessarily true when it comes to the bedroom.
Mm-mm.
Older women seem to be a bit more appreciative.
Yeah, there's that experience factor time in again.
Yeah, I'm all for the bend me, shape me. You can break it as long as you fix it.
I think I'd agree with that statement as well.
Yeah, so, ladies, if you're out there, and if you're wondering if you're appreciated, you are. We believe in you. There we go. And yeah, I'm kind of losing train of thought here, but that's okay. I only took a couple of minutes.
Oh, yeah, I don't really have any particular topics to discuss myself. I just figured I'd come on and shoot the shit for a while.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Well, wait a minute. Addie, you're still up. I'll throw you a link if and you want to come. Although I have a bad habit now of using colloquialisms that I don't think a lot of people know about. Because, like, when somebody says something that's definitive that I agree with, I'll go, church. That's an old ghetto slogan. Which, it's like, yeah, you're right about that. That's gospel. It's church.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. There's a geographical barrier that goes into that kind of thing too, because different phrases means different things from everywhere.
Except for kill Whitey.
Yeah, that one's pretty universal.
Really? Well, damn, kill Whitey. Or so I have been told.
Yeah.
Guys talk, you hear things.
Yeah, that'd be my assumption.
Yeah, I spent a little bit too much time in my life being a hood rat.
Yeah, don't feel too bad. I've spent my entire life being a redneck, so.
Well, yeah, but most of the time, if you're rednecking, at least you got a skill out of it.
Yeah, that's fair. Hood rat and you get that good old street knowledge. That's definitely not a bad thing to have.
Well, I don't know. I learned things that I started learning, shitty skills. Oh, by the way, good morning, Trippy, and good morning, OG.
Morning.
And Trippy, it's nothing against you. Actually, the last 4 or 5 invites that I've gotten, and they're like, just come into Discord. I'm like, no. No. Discord is the devil.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Discord myself.
Well,
I haven't
because
messed around with it too much, honestly, but it just, I don't know, it's
well,
too much.
and even with my new setup, uh, the the uh, the mic gets wonky, and that bugs the ever living piss out of me.
Hmm. I'm sure there's some kind of setting somewhere buried in there you could use to tweak that, but I'm not a techie, so I can tell you.
I just blame it all on Caucasians.
Damn whitey.
If it wasn't for the white man, I would have many things in my life. I always want to go. Well, what would those things be? Like indoor plumbing. It it just it just amazes me, and I'm not gonna say, well, I have black friends too, um, because then you get the SJW kind of, oh well, you're just trying to justify your racism. I'm like, how the hell does that justify racism if you have a friend who's of a different ethnic background?
Well, there you go, throwing around that L word again.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I've gotten into discussions with people, and um, I just there's sometimes where I've actually stopped people and gone, hold on a second. Do you really understand the words that are coming out of your mouth? I mean, here, let me just feed this back to you. This is what you said, and are you truly um, that bathed in ignorance? It's just, uh,
Yeah, I've had a few moments like that myself.
you know, it's just like when they got into that whole debate about um, one of the things that set me off on a BYBS one night was talking about, well, we don't think that 6 million Jews died, and there's other people like, well, there's proof that it happened. And I was like, whoa, 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 you guys are are not seeing the forest because of the trees. It's the fact that people died. That's the
Exactly.
tragedy. And there were tons of them. There were a shit ton. Uh,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
you know, ask the Russians how many deaths that they ended up having.
Yeah, the Russians definitely got the short end of the stick on that deal. Kind of brought it on themselves for the most part, but yeah, they definitely did.
Well, I mean, when somebody goes, hey, you know what? We're going to go over and fuck with these guys, but we're not going to fuck with you. We're going to leave you
Yeah.
be. And then you get 6 months down the road and they're like, haha, we're going to fuck with you now. It's like, yeah, that's not really smart, especially when, you know, that person that you're fucking with is like, oh, I don't know, you know, on the all-state athlete team. Because they were the kings of fucking shit up back then. I mean, we did okay, but then again, we had a bomb. We had nuclears. So that's what made us the Billy Badass. You know,
Yeah.
we brought a nuclear bomb to a gunfight. So we won. But goddamn, man, them Russians. I read about them holding. It was either Leningrad, Stalingrad, or St. Petersburg at the time, and they estimated the death count around 1 million. So yeah, a lot of people died. That's the frickin' tragedy. Don't debate numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not nearly as well versed about World War II as I'd like to be. Well, any war as I'd like to be, honestly. But I always was a history buff, but I guess I never had time to get into it as much as I'd like.
Yeah, a friend of mine who's a skinhead, and yeah, you can have friends who are opposed to your views, and you can still be friends with them, unless they do something incredibly horrible or deplorable. But um, he was like, hey, you never know, man. Them damn them damn camps. They could have been like summer camps. They could have been like just like regular work camp. They could have got paid. I'm like, all right, dude. Whatever you want to think. Yeah, just stay away from my kids. Do not share your nuggets of wisdom with them. Because some white people be cray cray.
A lot of people in general are cray cray.
Yeah, I have a good time uh, touring around the internet and just basically having logic discussions. I'm I'm very much not into letting people get away with stupid shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I always try to call bullshit out where you see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad though because I spent time having to protect myself. Um, Knowing that there are going to be people out there who are going to go against you if they get butt hurt, and you just have to. Uh, it's kind of like being a prepper. You got to have some shit held back or saved. So just in case you do get attacked. Um, OG, I am technically Generation X. I am in my 50s. So I be not a boomer. Well, I'm yeah, I'm not a boomer in the in the internet sense. Anybody who's over 35 is a fucking boomer, or at least that's what I've kind of sussed.
No, a technical sense.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
but
I
but
think
but
that
then again,
goalpost tends to get moved a lot.
yeah, but then again, see, I think the reason why they skipped to boomer um, is the fact that Gen X actually sounds cool. That
I could see
generation,
that.
yeah, and I call the newest generation Generation Anon because that's what they're being taught to be is anonymous. Just to be another spoke in the wheel.
Yeah, the whole rise of the NPC, so to speak.
Yeah, I do find it quite funny though. Um, People
Oh, I
getting
find it
so
hilarious.
people getting so butthurt about being called like an NPC, and it's like, well, you know what? Stop spouting dipshit stuff, and people will stop calling you that. Don't be a dumbass. If you're gonna be anything, be a wise ass.
Yeah, I definitely inherited the family trait of smartass.
And honestly,
Much,
there's nothing wrong with being a smartass as long as you wield that power for good.
yep. Yeah, if you wanted to, if I had to place a specific model to describe my family, I'd say the Foremans from That 70s Show. That's like exactly my family.
Uh, God, I think, jeez, I really can't think of an actual TV model. I wish I could, but yeah, my family's just a little too flaky. There's some country in them. Um, One of my grandmothers and my grandfather were a hillbilly and a briar, respectively. And a lot of people are
Yeah.
like, well, there's no difference there. And I'm like, you would be wrong. There is a specific difference.
Yep. Yeah, there's specific difference between rednecks and hillbillies too, but most people don't see it.
Well, it could be a subgenre, redneck, because I know hillbillies and briars that are rednecks.
Yeah.
So not all hillbillies and briars are rednecks, but most all rednecks are hillbillies or briars. Well, no, I can't say that either, because I got some Texas buddies,
God
and they
bless
are
Texas.
certainly an interesting lot. Vidya games? What? Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna have
mean,
to go.
uh, NPCs are the internet's version of sheep.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Easily led, acolytes of the ignorant. That shit unfortunately exists.
I'm gonna have to go mute for a minute here, Doc. I'll be back in just a bit.
Okay. There we go. And well, I did send out the link to Addie. I did send out the link to Lady Lawnby. Hopefully that'll get working. I even sent the link out to Trippy. If that random SOB is up. But yeah, I don't know. I'd like to think that I'm part of a generation that isn't particularly cynical, but it can get difficult. We spent a lot of time when I was a kid talking about a lot of time talking about the morality of things. And it was always, greater good type talk. And I think that's one of the things that have actually gotten lost. It's it's more what about me kind of shit now. And with everything comes sacrifice. But is it it's not bad to be contemplative, to be reflective. It's not bad to question authority. But what I do find that is bad is people who try to inflict their own opinions on people to make people think or believe what they want them to believe, to change the paradigm, to shift it, to force people into behavior that the minority finds acceptable. I mean, let's face it, there's always going to be, in one form or another, a certain amount of racism, a certain amount of bigotry, a certain amount of heretical thought. But that's more of a sometimes, not always. And that's what kind of drives me insane. Is because there's a lot of people out there that are preaching absolutes. And absolutes are not absolute. Especially when it comes to the mores of societal woes. I think there's a lot of people that are misunderstanding or, I guess, refusing to understand, either through, blind ignorance or even accepted ignorance. I don't know. I just wish people would stop being assholes to other people. And it really seems like an easy thing to do, but apparently it's not. And I'm hoping that'll change. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think anything that I can personally do will ever change the world. No, Gio, I didn't hear the Geek Thulu clip. I know, and I can say this with a surety that I personally am a bigoted person, but I'm bigoted on a case-by-case basis. I'm not bigoted in a blanket way. Because, the actual definition of a bigot is that you don't put up with other people's shit. It's a person who doesn't tolerate other people having different opinions. So I will personally take that on a case-by-case basis. I'll listen to what somebody's saying, and then my reaction will come from that. I think that's basic. But I'm not a basic bitch.
Alright, I'm back.
And welcome back.
Floodlights kicked on. I thought I was going to have to go shoot something. So.
Well, that'd be fun.
Oh, yeah. No, we raise chickens, so we kind of have to keep the varmints clear.
Yeah, for those people who don't believe the fox in the hen house cliche, it is real.
Absolutely. Well, we have more problems with coons and possums than anything else, but
oh yeah, man, they're like number one on the carry and devour food chain.
yeah. Yeah, they really like to go after our chickens. And our dog is just absolutely fucking useless.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've seen some dogs make a difference before.
Oh yeah, we've had some great dogs over the years, and this one has his moments, but he's the most stoner dog I've ever seen in my life. Like he's always happy. He's never met a stranger. He's just he doesn't have like an ounce of anger in him, and that's great for family pet and all that. But whenever it comes to trying to defend the homestead, not so much.
The tail is always wagging.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's a good dog though. He's actually a stray that just wandered up in the yard. I think 4 years ago, something like that. And whenever we first got him, oh man, he was a bag of bones. I don't know where he came from, but that dude had a rough life. He's You could see every single rib poking out through his skin, and he had a he actually had a bullet wound right on his ass. He'd been shot in the hip. I
Wow.
don't know. Yeah, I don't really understand that one because I mean he's such a sweet dog. I don't know why anybody would ever shoot him. The only thing I could think was he might have been chasing somebody's horses or something like that. But
Well, there are people out there who aren't sweet.
oh yeah, that is very true.
Yeah, um uh, I haven't I've never personally gone out and purchased a pet. It was always usually like a rescue, um, or like a pound pickup.
Yeah,
And had this one dog. It was a Heinz. It was a mix of everything. It was a mutt,
yeah.
and it was so funny because the lady who had it said, "Well, I just can't keep him anymore. It's just too difficult for me, and I don't want the dog to suffer." And so she brought it into my mom's work, and I was there at the time. And she set the dog down. The dog walked in, and I just said, "Well, aren't you a cute little thing?" And it looked at me and stared at me for a second, and all of a sudden its tongue started lolling out, and it ran straight up to me. And ever since then, I had the dog until it died, and I mean, it was always the most loving dog in the world. Um, never took me for granted, and I never took her for granted. She was just always a sweetheart, and her favorite thing to do was, this was back in the day when I wasn't computering much, and I would come home from work, and I'd usually plug in a DVD and just watch a movie or two. I worked until like 2 in the morning, so I would get myself tired, have a couple drinks, and watch a couple movies. Get into bed by about 6. And the only thing she ever wanted was to hop up on the couch and sit next to me. She would never lay on me, but she always wanted to be touching me. And I was completely cool with that because, that's the kind of good touch.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was sad when she died.
Yeah, it's always sad whenever pets die. Once you have them for a certain amount of time, it's more like losing a family member than anything.
Oh, yeah. She died in like January. And so I decided that right then and there I was going to bury her. And at the time I was in Ohio, and that's a hard row to hoe. That
Yeah.
ground was fucking frozen, but fuck if I didn't stay out there and get that hole dug.
Yeah, in a similar situation. I think it was 3 years ago. Probably, if not the best dog, easily one of the best dogs we ever had. Is black lab and pit bull mix named Texas. And he was fucking 100-pound dog, and he lived to be 12 years old.
That's
And he
pretty
ended up
old for a
getting,
lab.
yeah, he had a pretty long life, and he had a really great life. I mean, he was a fucking puppy until the day he died, but he ended up getting a cancerous tumor in his lung, and we had a there wasn't anything that could have been done about it. He ended up having to put him down. But that was pretty rough. But it's just like I said, just like with a family member, you can't watch him suffer through it.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of nice that the dog I was talking about just naturally went.
Yeah,
Um, I can't say the results were any better for any of the other aminals. I mean, it gets to the point where you got to put them down. It's just
yeah,
cruel to not. My mom's favorite pet was a miniature poodle named Susie, and Susie lived till she was like 18.
yeah,
Because usually the smaller the dog breed, the longer they live. Like my sister had a
yeah,
Great Pyrenees, and it died after 2 years.
yeah. Big dogs don't usually last long.
But
There's a there's another dog we had that was he was a mutt, but he was a chow mix, and he had really like the thickest fur you can imagine. Because every summer we'd have to sit out there with a brush and brush it all out for him, and there'd be enough fur sitting there to make another dog. But he he's the only dog we ever had that actually died of just old age, and he was 18. He was a year older than I was at the time, and he just we've got being a kind of a farm property. We've got our own pet cemetery, so to speak, where we always bury the pets that die. And wherever we found him, he was 3 feet away from where we ended up burying him, because he knew he was going to die, so he went ahead and walked over there.
yeah, when my dog died, I had two dogs at the time. My mom couldn't handle the. She had a little white poodle, which was just a yippy shaky piece of shit.
Yep.
But 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 my dog actually uh, usually mellowed her out and calmed her down. Like when she would come and sit next to me, the white dog was jealous enough to where she would come and literally lay on top of the other dog. And the dog got used to it. She didn't snap at her or anything. She's like, oh well, whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, dogs can definitely teach you a lesson.
Oh, definitely.
Unlike the white man is not good. Or at least we keep getting told that we're evil, so, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, they scream it out enough, we'll believe it at some point, right?
Yeah, eventually it's got to come to pass.
Hmm. Yeah, we probably had, oh man, through my entire childhood, I bet we had 40 dogs, and we live right next to a county road that's fairly busy. So 9 times out of 10, we'd have our dogs end up getting run over, or stolen, or run off. Is we very rarely chained them up because we never needed to. They'd always stay home, but unless something happened. But
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we've only had a couple dogs that ever been hit by cars. Um, Most of them, they got to the point of being old, so we had to put them down. And it was so weird. My brother had a Yorkie. Fucking hate those dogs. But this one liked me. It's because my brother and I sound a lot alike. My oldest brother. There's like 4 years difference between the two of us, and we used to. It was kind of funny because we used to fool each other's girlfriends. Like he would answer the phone and be my girlfriend, and he'd start talking to her, and she thought that he was me, and and I did that with his girlfriends, and so so this dog got quickly very familiar with me, and it got bad. Um, the dog had gotten to the point where it was legit. Um, it couldn't see anything, and I told my brother, I was like, man, this is just cruel at this point. It could barely hear, and it would just basically stand in one place because it was blind, and it didn't know where to go. He even went through the point of not changing their house furniture for like the last 2 years of the dog's life, because that's how the dog got around. And but it would legit just stand there and shake when it was in unfamiliar territory. And the last time I saw that dog before they eventually did do the humane thing and put it down, um, my brother had brought it in and just set it down, and he went to go do something, and I started talking, and the dog just looked over. And so I walked over and I started talking to the dog, and I started petting it, and I set it on my lap, and the dog just curled up in my lap. And my brother comes back in. He's like, "Well, how'd you get the dog to do that?" And I'm like, "Well, it was pretty easy. I just talked to him. I think he thought I was you." And the dog started getting confused because now the dog heard two of the same voice. And I did feel a little sorry for it at that point, but um, I don't know. It was a sweet dog, but man, that thing had to die. It needed to be killed.
yeah, sometimes they get to that point, unfortunately.
Mm.
I've always been more of a dog person than anything else, but we've had, God, probably hundreds of barn cats over the years. I think we had uh, the 3 cats that are actually not assholes in the world over the years, and we've still got one of them. He's I think he, uh, actually, I think he turns 20 years old this year, if I remember right.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a really old cat. But his mom actually lived to be 25 before she ran off.
That is a lot of age.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's only got 3 teeth left, so we give him soft food every morning for him. But he'll still go out and beat up all the other cats for the hard food.
Oh God, I remember I went out to a friend of mine's aunt's farm, and she she warned us. Um, uh, I was like, yeah, I heard you have cats, and she's like, oh yeah, I have cats, and I'm like, well, where are they at? And she's like, are you sure? And I'm like, well, yeah, why not? And she's like, well, they're out back in the barn. And my buddy took me out to the barn, opened up the fucking barn door, and I shit you not, there was probably at least 200 cats,
Oh my god.
and you could tell the generations by the breeding because most of them
Oh
were calico.
yeah.
There were a few single colored cats, and those were pretty much the oldest. But the more that they bred with each other, the more complex the calico spotting got.
Hmm.
And I mean, legit, it kind of freaked me out for a second because when he opened up the door, the cats saw humans and they were just like, meow, 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 meow. I mean, a wave of fucking calico came at me.
That sounds terrifying.
It was disturbing for a second, and I'm like, dude, the first two that jump on me, I'm killing them.
Yep.
I need to set an example,
Mm-hmm.
or else they're all
Gotta
going to
lay it.
take me down. It's like swarmed by zombies.
Gotta lay down the law. Now that's interesting though, because I was always told that calicos are only ever female.
Oh, they were mostly they were mostly calicos.
Hmm.
I can't say what the sex was. I wasn't going to be lifting tails.
Oh yeah, yeah. I wouldn't expect anyone in that situation to do that.
But yeah, it was amazing because the modeling and the striping and all that shit. You could tell that the originals were. You could tell that the original people were, or the original cats that started spawning everything probably started out to be, you know, tabbies or tigers or, you know, some calicos,
Yeah,
and everything just got muddied up.
yeah. That happens quite a bit because cats do breed like fucking rabbits.
Und that is what happens when you mix cervezas.
You know, there's been God, I don't know how many times where we've had our herd down to like 2 cats, and then not even a year later, it's up to 20 of them.
Yeah.
I don't understand. It's always strays will come up and hit them up, or
Well, I will admit this. I am guilty of every so often dropping a cat off at a farm.
yeah, yeah. That is a very common thing. I mean, the only other alternative is to call the herd, and that's something nobody likes to do.
Well, yeah, I mean because I know for certain that like when me and my first wife separated, she immediately took the cats to the shelter, and I didn't know it at the time. And I came to the shelter like a week afterwards because I didn't know until then. And the cats had been put down.
Mm,
Nobody adopted them, so they got put down.
yeah, we do have one shelter around here, but it's all volunteer, no kill shelter, but it's it's pretty rare, really, to see people go in there and adopt any of those. I mean, my sister actually worked there for a little bit back when she was in high school, and they have more dogs than anything else. But it's I mean, the town I live in is tiny comparatively, so that was probably a factor in that. But
Well, and do you
I
think
know,
and do you think it's because people don't want cats, they want kitties?
yeah, exactly, and it's the same way with dogs because the majority of people don't want dogs; they want puppies, and that's something that it really pisses me off to no end because it's a very common thing for parents to get a Christmas present as a puppy or a kitten for the kid, and then a year or two later, when it's full grown, and the kid doesn't want it anymore, they go and take it off somewhere, and it infuriates me because I don't know. That's probably just how I was raised because we never got rid of any of our pets unless we absolutely had to. But
Well, my ex codependent wanted a dog, and I should have known this right up front because she wasn't taking care of the cat. Like the cat would build a mountain out of its shit in the litter box.
oh yeah,
And then anytime that I would come over, she'd be so pissed. The cat would be so pissed that she was giving me attention that if I had left any of my clothes lay out, she would shit on
shit.
them. And uh, she was like, well, I probably should get a dog instead. And I'm like, okay, well, I got her a chow. Um, and I'm like, well, chows are pretty much self-reliant. They're really good with, telling you when they want to go out and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, well, she had the bad habit of she would um, chain it up outside, and then instead of like going home after work, she'd go out and party and get wasted. So the dog would be out longer than it should have been.
Yeah.
Well, and also just because a dog is chained up doesn't mean that another dog can't show up and fuck the dog while it's chained.
Yep.
So that happened,
Yeah.
and she was pregnant, and I'm like, well, you got to make sure and take care of her because she's fucking pregnant. And she's like, don't worry, I'll take care of it, blah, 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 and this and that bullshit. And come to find out, I came over one night and she had crawled into the foundation because it was so cold and had her litter inside the foundation.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I was not happy about that.
yeah, I wouldn't have been either.
So once she dished out the puppies to her friends, I came and got the dog and gave it to a friend of mine.
Yeah. Probably the best move there.
Yeah, I mean, because you just can't. You can't do that. So that's why I don't like white people. Well, that's although it was a very good reason to stop dating redheads too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Redheads are always fucking crazy.
Well, at least the ones I've dated have been.
Yeah. You and me both, Doc.
Yeah, I'm very much okay with not dating redheads.
I'm the kind of guy that likes a little bit of crazy, but whenever it gets to the point where, they whip out a knife on you every now and then, yeah, that kind of makes me uncomfortable.
That's why I don't. That's why I don't date Puerto Rican women. They are
Yeah, them too.
fucking nuttier than a payday. I mean, legit. I woke up one day, and once again, I'm not the kind of guy who will bring in a live-in girlfriend. I'm a serial monogamist, but I won't bring a live-in girlfriend.
Mm.
Uh, I wake up one day, and there she is sitting on the edge of my bed with a fucking knife. Now, she did not spend the night. She came over and she brought her own knife.
Oh, shit.
And the first thing she said was, "Do you love me?" And I was like, "I think
Oh,
you need to
my.
put the knife down and then I'll give you an answer." I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of batshit crazy.
that's a hell of a predicament right there.
Yeah, because, I like not being stabbed. I kind of,
Yeah,
I've gotten kind of lazy about that. I've grown accustomed to not being stabbed. Call me old fashioned, but,
yeah, I've been stabbed a couple of times, and that's not an experience I'd like to repeat.
Yeah, I mean, in the bar you can give a cool explanation, but
Yeah,
that was
that's
one.
a little embarrassing whenever you have to explain the story on how you stabbed yourself in the hand.
Yeah, I've never purposely stabbed myself, but I don't think I ever
Yeah.
got past the oh shit, I'm gonna get stabbed.
Yeah, that's a situation that sobers you up real fucking fast, no matter what you're on.
Yeah, well, needless to say, the bitch cost me $20 because I had to change the locks.
I'd say that's a good investment.
Yeah, I took her out to dinner and I just basically said, you know what, you crazy.
Yep.
I can't have this in my life, so we're gonna have to part company, but I'll still pay the check here.
Yeah.
In retrospect, I should have taken her out to a cheap place like a Waffle House.
Yeah.
Waffle Houses, they're good for breakups.
Oh yeah.
That should be their new slogan.
Another thing better for breakups that I could think of would be a Denny's. It's all hours of the night.
Well, but they shut down our last Denny's at the beginning of last year.
Damn. I ain't no good.
Yeah, there's not a single one around. But then again, businesses have a tendency to leave here quickly. Like In-N-Out Burger hit town. I don't know if you've ever seen one, or if there's one around you.
I don't think I've ever seen one. I've heard of them, but I've never been to one.
Yeah, In-N-Out was like, fuck the Burger King slogan. You're gonna have it our way. So they would make it, line it up, and ship it as it went, and it was popular for about a month, and then the people around here just said, you know what? we don't like the fact that we can't say that we can't get a burger without pickles, or without onions, or without mustard, or without ketchup. But that was part of their business model. They'd make all that shit up right then and there.
Yeah.
And so there was no variation, so you couldn't fuck up an order because all the orders were the same. But we weren't
At least
having
they
any of
got
that shit.
consistency.
Also, like Krispy Kreme was here for about 6 or 7 years, and then it just finally closed.
Well, if it's any consolation, the only actual chain restaurants we have in my town would be a Subway and a McDonald's.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. That's about, I don't know, probably 2,000 people. Fairly small town.
We've got, I think we've got 250,000.
Oh my.
Well, that's
Yeah,
really not a lot.
Well, you can keep that shit. I'm not a big fan of cities.
Well, that's why the ghetto I live in is so cheap. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it used to be industry here. I mean, Mead was here. GM had like 4 plants.
Oh yeah.
NCR, National Cash Register. So there was a
Yeah.
lot of jobs until it hit about the late 80s. And then all of a sudden shit started closing and plants started moving.
Yeah. Yeah. I think probably the only reason our town is even still on the map is we've got a power plant that's like 6 miles right outside of the city limits, and then coal mines everywhere. Yeah, that's about it.
Oh yeah, my it's funny. My uncle worked in a coal mine, and uh, he got kind of balding,
Mm-hmm.
and he made up the excuse that his hair got caught in a drill, and it ripped it free, and the hair wouldn't grow back. And,
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
yeah, I'm like, Wigga, you lying. I'm like, there would be scars on the top of your head. The only reason why it wouldn't grow back is if your scalp was all scarred up. It's like,
Yeah, if that happened, it probably would rip his whole scalp off.
oh, it would have broke his fucking neck,
Yeah,
or dragged him into the bit and killed him.
yeah.
So, yet another
Yeah, it's
reason.
definitely a very dangerous job. But whenever you're getting to areas like I live in, it's certain places. It's the only way that you can make a living.
Oh shit, I couldn't do it, man. I could not do it.
Mm,
I've
yeah.
I've got a my biggest phobia is the fear of being buried alive.
Yes, I don't think I could do a underground mine myself. I could do a surface mine, but I wouldn't. I don't think I'd be able to handle an underground.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm not a fan.
Mm.
Nope.
And I don't think there's a whole lot of surface mines left out there, honestly. I think just about all of them has gone to underground.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of mining around the states, like for gravel quarries and shit. But as far as coal, everything's underground.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we have 1 or 2 surface mines still left here that I can think of that are active anyway, but most of them got shut down back in the day. My grandpa was actually a coal miner just about his whole damn life, so he worked at a surface mine. Actually, that's where he lost his eye. He
Oh,
was, yeah. I
what the
remember him
hell?
telling me, he told me about that when I was a kid. He was 19 years old. He's actually dropped out of high school, just like his brothers and his dad, to go work at the coal mine, help support the family. And they were cutting the bottom out of a 55-gallon drum, steel drum. And a little chunk of, just a little fleck of steel flew out, caught him right in the eye, and that was it.
Ooh.
And I didn't even know about that until I was probably, oh man, I think I was 7 or 8 years old. And I remember I was over, because whenever I was a kid, my parents would leave me and my siblings over at my grandparents' house just to visit for a night or a couple of days. And I remember I was walking through the hallway one night, and he was in the bathroom cleaning his eye because he had a glass eye. And I just happened to see it out of the corner of my eye, him bent over the sink, and I kind of did a double take and just like froze because I didn't know he only had one eye. Nobody thought to tell me before. And he just looked up, looked at me, just gaping hole in one side of his face. And he just got this real big ass smile on his face. And he started fucking chasing me across the house with that glass eye. Oh man, he chased me for probably 30 minutes. Fart.
It's funny. I was sitting here taking a look. I got a piece of anthracite, which is
Yep.
like the purest composition of coal, and it doesn't even look like coal.
Yeah.
It's pretty and shiny.
Wonder how it burns.
It burns very well.
Mm-hmm.
It's the shit.
Yeah.
Well, let's see here. Yeah, we're at the 5 o'clock hour, Jolly Roger. I think I'm gonna call it.
Oh man, I didn't even realize it was this early already. Shit.
Yeah. Do you have anything that you would like to show?
Yeah, I'll throw a shout out to Killing Joke again and Blackout too while I'm at it because they're both awesome.
Yeah. I hope Blackout's gonna get the JOB situation taken care of so he can start streaming again.
Yeah.
I miss his shows.
Yeah, I do too. I miss going in there and fucking with everybody.
Yeah, he's a good kid too.
Yeah, he is. He's good people.
And I know he gets irritated when I say kid, but fuck him. He's 23 years old. I'm like double his goddamn age. I'm more than double his goddamn age.
Well, see, I find myself falling into that trap a little bit, honestly, because, I mean, I'm only 25, but I've lived quite a lot of life in those 25 years, so I feel like, I don't know, a lot of the people that I talk to, they're even like my own age.
Well,
I still see
some
them
roads
as
are rougher
kids.
than others.
Mm.
Some are a little harder traveled. Oh, look at this. Blackout pops up.
Oh, speak of the devil.
Speak of the devil and he shall appear.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'll throw in the link real quick. Just so he can get a high in and if nothing else, do some pluggery.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think I've ever even talked to him. Except through chat.
Yes, I mentioned your name and I sent you the link. I sent it in the Twitters. And not in the Discord. Because of course, if we've learned anything this evening, it's that Discord is the devil.
Yep. Just like Mama said.
Mama says happiness comes from little rays of sunshine.
God, I probably haven't seen that movie in 10 years.
Last time I referenced it, I did a meme about Matt Jarbo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I I took the Water Boy poster and made it a Wad of Boy poster.
Oh, there you go.
And this was even before he got caught with all the other shit. We were just making fun of him.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning.
And
Yeah,
good
morning blackout.
How y'all doing?
You sound
Certainly
kind of
doing.
chipper.
I kind of just woke up.
And so, how is the waking up process for you?
Horrible.
I
I'm
feel
still
that.
in. I'm still in bed. I don't want to get up. I know what I need to do when I get up.
What do you got to do when you get up?
Go outside. It's cold outside.
Okay, wait a minute. What's the temperature there?
I think like -4 Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit.
Uh, I don't do
Yeah,
I don't do temperate math either.
I couldn't tell you. But I can tell you it is 26 here right now, and it's somehow still fucking raining. So,
And good morning to Chief Lakota. Wait a minute. Okay, I will use my Google PhD and Celsius to Fahrenheit. Okay, wait a minute. What did you say it was?
-4.
-4. Okay,
Yeah.
it'd be -4. That would be 24 degrees Fahrenheit, almost 25. Currently, right now, it is 31 degrees Fahrenheit. So, it would be -0.5 Celsius. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, but here it's raining ice.
yeah,
That
I don't fully.
sounds horrible.
Yeah, I don't fully understand this night because, like I said, it's 26 right now, and it's raining and not ice.
Well, let's see. 26
Indiana
would make
sucks.
it -3 Celsius.
Okay. So you're all having the same temperature, basically.
Yeah, Midwest hell, bud.
Yeah, it sounds like outside the house somebody's throwing a shit ton of Tic Tacs.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, it's not supposed to get any better either, but well, welcome to the Midwest.
Yep, we get the worst of both worlds.
So, oh fuck. Yeah. So I will finish this cigarette and we will call this. But fill us in. Blackout, what do you what can we expect? What do you have to shill?
Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, over on my channel, there's gonna be an interview. I'm announcing who it is on today's stream, I believe. So stay tuned with that. I'm gonna probably post it on Twitter as well, just so in case anyone misses it, they will catch that announcement. Besides that, well, I don't really have anything planned.
Well,
Why?
you can always throw your T Public link.
Yeah, I could, but I'm too lazy right now. It's too early in the morning.
God damn it!
You can find it somewhere, but
Well,
more
hell, it's
important is going to Lord Byron's store, where he has some official Blackout by Dawn T-shirts.
there you go.
And right now, everything is 30% off, so it almost seems like a good idea.
Yes.
The expensive bastards.
They're
Getting
not
them,
that expensive.
Well, their shipping
get
sucks. Come on.
getting them
Yeah.
Black Friday deals.
And let's see here. I think I am. Am I not following you? Oh, son of a bitch.
Wait, who?
I'm not following like anybody. Are you under no final?
Yep. No Final Blackout
Okay.
on Twitter.
And on T Public?
On TeePublic, I think it's tpublic.com/stores/blackout or Blackout by Dawn. I'm not sure right now. I can't actually remember how I set it up because I got the affiliates thing.
No results found for Blackout by Dawn.
Dang it. Hold on.
Rip.
Fuck.
Oh, that's a fun shirt from Lord Byron.
Okay, it's tpublic.com/stores/blackout.
Let's see here. Okay, here is Lord Byron since it came up first.
Yeah, I can put my own in. There you go.
And if you guys want to, of course. Oh, wait, I had to do the voice. If you're looking for the finest of Mr. Medicare bootleg merchandise, look no further than the Doc Griffin T Public store. On sale now, 30% off. Get yours while they last. Yeah, I got a big paycheck coming from T Public in the next couple of days.
Oh, there you go.
A whole $18. Fuck yes.
Fuck yeah. Doc the High Roller over here.
Yeah, I mean that's a bottle of liquor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hell, you can even...
I still really like that Nobody shirt.
Oh yeah. It's a fun shirt. I might redo one for a later date, but
Shit, Doc, where I'm from, you can get 3 half gallons of the cheapest vodka for that.
Well, I'm going for, I think this time around, I'm gonna get one that comes in like it comes in like a small turpentine can.
Oh, there you go.
I think I'm going to, yeah, I think I'm going to try that one this time around, and it'll arrive in perfect timing because then I can take the cash I get from T Public and head to the liquor store.
There you go. Yeah, from back in my heavy drinking days, I kind of learned the lesson of to stay away from any liquor that comes in plastic bottles.
Although I poured a shot, I mean, I drank like a half a bottle of whiskey during the Ginger Lynn interview,
Yeah.
and I poured myself another shot, and I didn't drink it. I went and laid down for about 2 hours, and then I got right back up. I was still drunk, so I went to drink the shot that I had poured, and there were two gnats in it.
Oh.
They had pickled themselves.
Oh.
But I was drunk, so I just picked it out.
Yeah. You almost can't drink it after that. Almost.
Well, I'm like, fuck that. Once they hit, they were pickled. So I don't need to worry about it spoiling my damn booze. And,
Yeah,
they died and got sterilized.
it's just extra protein when you boil it down.
Wait a minute. I don't have the little gimmick to follow on your store. What the fuck's the deal with that?
I don't know.
Neither do I.
It's kind of weird. I don't know why got removed.
By the way, I do think it's cute that you can buy the Nobody shirt in a onesie.
Oh yeah,
Oh my.
I just had to add that in case someone had decided to actually get that.
Yeah, I've been not um, dealing with any of the kids apparel, although I think I did have the one with the leather sub mask that says you have the right to remain silent. I think I had that in a onesie for a while, and I'm like, I think this just might be in bad taste. But yeah, I'm just waiting for the day when I get a cease and desist from Medicare. Although he did tell me he didn't give a fuck. So
Yeah. If he said he didn't give a shit, he probably won't ever give a shit.
yeah, I mean, I did two V shirts. I did a Kick V shirt and I did a Summer of V shirt. And of course, none of them sold. But I asked V first before I did it. And I've got one on there for Killing Joke, too. Actually, I've got two on there from Killing Joke, but the only one that I think is cool is the Killing Joker's Tiki Bar. I made it like a bouncer shirt, so on the back it says staff.
No, that's pretty cool.
And yeah, if you guys are wanting to buy t-shirts, then holy hell, they're 30% off. So whatever you're saved in the price of the shirt usually is about, it'll be like the price that the shirt regularly was, except for the 30% off essentially absorbs the shipping cost. So that's the twisted way that it works. Because I swear to God, it shouldn't take $7 to ship one shirt.
Wait, it's $7 to ship.
Yeah.
It's $5 to ship to Norway.
Nah, fuck you.
Oh
I went to add a sticker, because somebody sent me the
yeah,
money.
the
Like,
stickers are bullshit.
well, somebody sent me the money to buy a shirt, and I'm like, well, fuck, I'll get, I'll just tack on a sticker too. And when I tacked on the sticker, it tacked on $2 more in shipping. I'm like, for God's sakes, it's a sticker. It doesn't even weigh more than maybe an ounce. Put it in there with the shirt. I'm sure your invoice weighs more than that goddamn sticker.
Yeah, probably.
So you bought the stickers before then? Blackout.
Wait, what?
You purchased a sticker before?
No, because I don't want to pay double amount and ship it.
No, because I know SMG bought a bunch of stickers. That's his gig. He likes buying stickers. And he said they weren't too bad.
Yeah, I've seen both Joke and Shop. I believe Chop Top Nada and Optic got the Shakes the Dono uh, stickers, so that they look pretty good.
Yeah, they're most of that $18 come from people who bought the Sweetie Squad sticker. People
Yeah,
bought
makes sense.
people bought those in batches. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. Wait a minute, which interview did you love, Chief? I got 25, well, technically 26 under my belt. And I just don't know. Because I've interviewed Joker and I've interviewed Blackout. And now I have an adult film actress to my credit.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to hear any of that, Blackout?
I caught some of the middle parts
Man,
because I just woke up and then went back to sleep.
she was a firecracker, man. She brought the game.
Yeah, I thought it was a great interview, Doc.
Oh, thank you. It was a lot of fun. That was, and I shit you not, I was basically on autopilot for that one, because I mean she took the ball and ran with it. I may have thrown a few questions her way, but damn, she's a good interview, and we didn't even get a chance to really talk about her podcast either.
I didn't even know she had a podcast.
Yeah, it was funny because we were talking previously, and she's like, "Well, what are your numbers?" And I was like, "Well, this is more just a hobby for me, but usually we have about 24 people in the chat, but we get a lot of rewatches. It usually is about 200 to 300 in the first week." She's like, "Oh, last podcast that I did, it got 50,000 downloads."
Whew. Oh, man.
I'm like, "Okay, you've proved you're cooler than me. Thanks." And she just kind of laughed. She's like, no, I love doing this.
Yeah.
And I think this was one of the first interviews that she ever got to talk about her art.
Yeah, some of that artwork was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna send her my address and say, hey, if any of that artwork you ever want to get rid of, throw one my way.
Yeah, I think the one that jumped out at me the most on the reel was I remember there's a tree in the center, and then it had a planet and two moons back in the background. And
oh yeah, that one sold.
yeah, that one I can see why.
Yeah, I mean her surrealist stuff usually goes pretty quick. I had a little over 50 pictures up of her artwork, and of those 50, I would say at least 30 were actually sold.
Wow.
And there's a lot of her new stuff there too, but yeah, she does some fun stuff. I mean, very, very impressionist. So she's kind of staying in her wheelhouse. She's not trying to get she's not trying to go Monet, but she is doing a little Picasso. Okay, well, I got about a half a cigarette left, so I don't know what I can promote, guys. if you
Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to bounce.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
uh,
we're gonna close it out. Thank you for showing up, brother.
yeah, have a good one.
Later, Blackout.
And that was Blackout, live from Norway. But
Well, mostly live. He's still waking up.
yeah, he sounded a lot more lucid than he did the last time he was on. So I'm happy
Sure.
for that. Hmm. So as I crush out this cigarette, it just leaves me to thank our guest this evening. We'd like to thank, of course, Blackout and Jolly Roger Bilgewater. We also like to thank our sleepy, nappy, pilled up co-host, Kadunt. Girl gotta get some sleep, man. She had her first day, so can't fault her on that. It's hard going back to work with that job.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, yeah, if you want to connect with me or Kadunt, our Twitters are up there, our YouTubes are there if you wanna sub out. And of course, I've got a Streamlabs and a Patreon. If you like what I'm doing and you want to throw me a couple ducats, then I certainly do appreciate it. It goes to the Let's Keep Doc and Alcoholic Fund. And for everybody who showed, for everybody who was listening, I'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight. And please, just do me one favor. Yeah, leave the money on the dresser. Good night.